Howdy y'all, Trin here, and it's time to Trinspect a new gadget. Today we're talking about an electronic camera slider. To be specific, the GVM Professional Video 32-inch carbon fiber motorized camera slider. Try saying that 5 times fast. I've been looking for a motorized slider for a couple of months, and this one was one of the best reviewed that came up in my search. I wanted a smooth, cinematic movement for my videos, and that's really what drove me to grab one of these. Let's dive in and take a look at all of the features, details, and some of the footage that I shot with this slider. First, let's talk about what's in the box and the pricing. Everything comes in a nice foam-lined case that fits all the accessories. You get the slider, a controller and a cable for the slider, the L-series battery and charger, 6 different camera control cables to trigger your cameras depending on which one you have, and an extension cord for those control cables. The slider is well built, carbon fiber, and is sturdy by itself on a table. It even has a little adjustable feet that you can kind of change around to make it fit if you have a slightly unstable surface. The controller, on the other hand, is fully plastic, and I'm a bit worried that if I were to drop it on a hard floor, it would break. Next, let's check out some of the specs. This slider has 2 slider modes, one for video and one for time lapses. The video option allows you to do either automatic sliding action, where you set 2 points and it automatically goes through those 2 points, and there's a manual mode, which is just starting and stopping the slider with the controller. The time-lapse options are a bit more confusing with settings for interval, time-lapse, stop time, and photo count. The model I bought was a 32-inch slider, which has 30 inches of slider range. You also have a limit of 11 pounds on the slider, and the carbon version unit, which is the one that I purchased, is very light. Okay, now that you know what's in the box and what it says it does, let's test it out and see if it does what it says it does. Yeah, that's it. I primarily bought this as a video slider, but do plan to use it with time-lapse. I will say that the manual for the unit leaves a lot to be desired. There isn't really any information about a lot of the settings, and the worst part about the slider is the lack of information regarding the time-lapse. The options presented within the time-lapse function are a bit confusing. For instance, you may think interval would be for camera interval, but it isn't. They have an option called time-lapse, which seems a bit redundant since you're in the time-lapse mode, and it's all just a bit confusing when you're trying to figure it out, so it just requires you to mess with it. In my opinion, if you're looking for a new motorized slider, this GVM slider is a great value. It's lightweight, it's smooth, and it's quiet when it's moving. The main issues I have are the lack of information about the time-lapse mode and the fact that the ball head broke so quickly. It's not a deal breaker, but it does kind of suck. Overall, if this slider is going to be used for videos, it is super easy to use and you'll get some great shots. I'm excited to use this more in my projects, and I feel like it's going to really open up some of the creative stuff that I couldn't do without a slider before. If you're looking for smooth motion to add to your videos, this is a great product, and I would recommend it to anybody who does video. Thanks for joining us on this review, and we'll see you next time. Take care.